So it's Saturday night. I'm hanging out with my cousin and her friends and we're celebrating her birthday. And we decide to celebrate her birthday at Harold's Chicken and Ice Bar on Edgewood Avenue. Of course, when we drive by there, it's packed. It's Saturday night. And pretty much everybody knows if you're trying to find somewhere to park anywhere near or in downtown, the parking situation is going to be crazy and expensive. So we drive around a few times. I find a parking lot. It says free, but it's only free for 2 restaurants on that particular street, and we happen to be eating at one of them. I park, I do my thing, we get out, we go into the restaurant, we have a good time, we listen to music. I'm ready to go because, you know, black people start wilding when that trap music come on. So I go back to my car only to walk around to my side of the car and find a boot on the car. What the fuck is going on? Why is there a boot on my car? One of the young ladies I was with pointed out that there was a girl parked on the opposite side of the lot who was responsible for all the boots. I initially started out kind of green, but I figured out what was going on. So apparently, one side of the lot is designated for one restaurant, while the opposite side of the lot is designated for the other. I did not park on the side that was designated for the restaurant I was going to. We go over to the girl, she's sitting in the car, she's pretty much like watching and waiting basically. And this is what they do. They know people are not gonna read the signs, so she's sitting in the car basically waiting for people to not pay attention. They walk out of the parking lot and she just goes on over there and puts her boot on and she ready to make her $75. She probably made up to $1,000 that night, I'm sure. People are pissed. One girl even called the police. Atlanta police is like, I can't do nothing for you. Well, we get called out here all the time. So after all that went down, the next morning, I was like, you know what? There's some lessons in that. And it applies to relationships. And I'm going to share these 3 lessons that I learned in the parking lot designated for Harold's Chicken and Ice Bar that night. Pay attention to the signs. I actually had a feeling of concern when I left my car. I couldn't quite pinpoint why I was concerned, but the signs were there. And just like in relationships, the signs are always there. I had a partner who's now my ex told me at one point, he said, I got a lot going on. That was a sign. Take your time and live in the moment. Living in the moment allows you to think about and experience what's happening now instead of being distracted about what may happen later. I was so focused on just, getting to my cousin's birthday party. I was frustrated about parking and I was too distracted. And that's what caused me to not pay attention to the signs that clearly read where I was supposed to park. That same ex-partner that told me I got a lot going on. I quickly rationalized what he said so we could move forward. I was so focused on wanting to be with him, wanting to experience him, that I wasn't living in the moment and really processing what he said. What I realize now is that he was actually warning me. And for that very reason, we didn't work out because he indeed had a lot going on. Self-forgiveness. Oh, girl in that parking lot, she was literally exploiting people's lack of focus. And that's what capitalism is. This is also what toxic people do in toxic relationships. I could have been mad at her for the rest of the night and pissed that I had to pay $75 to this woman who's literally sitting up there chilling, waiting on people to not pay attention. I forgave myself for making that mistake. You could tell the girlfriend that was with me, she was pissed. And she kept going on about the whole thing. And she was kind of going back and forth with the girl, talking about how the whole setup was wrong. And you know what I'm saying? She was like, how do you live with yourself? And she was like, I live with myself just fine. And then she went into this whole thing about how much money she made that year and how she's actually doing the best she's ever been. At one point she was homeless and all this kind of stuff. She got a real story. But my girlfriend was still pissed and she was like, girl, I'll be trying to stop payment on that shit. But you know what? I wasn't even mad. Shit happens. I should have been paying attention. Plus, I've been doing a lot of meditating and I've been learning how to keep a more positive mindset so I can operate from a higher vibration. But that's another video. I literally told my friend girl, don't worry about it. I'll make that money back. I was just speaking it into existence. I had no idea how that was going to happen. But I got it back. In fact, I got it back the very next day. Pay attention to the signs, people.